Hi everybody, how you doing? It is Wednesday at 2:42 p.m. on September 14th, 2022. The price of Bitcoin is $19,961. The price of Ethereum is $1,599. But we're not going to talk about that today. Believe it or not, I actually do have other interests, and I want to talk about looks. Weird, right? Looks. What is this, a beauty channel? Is this a makeup tutorial you're doing? No, it's not. It is relevant, it is interesting, stick with me. Let's talk about a book that I read recently. The book was called Don't Trust Your Gut by an author named Seth Stevens Davidowitz. Davidowitz wrote a book in 2017 called Everybody Lies, and it talked about big data that he had analyzed from Google, Facebook, and others, where this was a new data set that revealed interesting things about human beings. He looked at data from Twitter to reveal where actual racism was geographically, where it happened. And it wasn't where you expect it to be. It wasn't just in the deep South. It was in a lot of major East Coast cities. It wasn't so much in like the rural areas that you might superficially expect to find racism per se. Davidowitz is an interesting guy. Here he is on his own site. We're going to be looking at this picture again as we're talking about looks. Personal note, recently I went to a conference, a Cryptopia conference. This was a cryptocurrency conference in May of 2022. This is the picture I submitted for my headshot. To me, this is what I look like, right? If you ask me to close my eyes and form a mental image, Austin, what do you look like? This is what I basically come up with. This is what I think I see in the mirror. But I know that that's not what other people see. If we're rational about it and we know that the image that we choose, we curate, and in fact, we know a mirror image of ourselves, what we see when we look at the mirror is not what other people see. Here's what I mean. When you look into a mirror, you get a mirror image, unless you're using a non-reversing mirror. This is a mirror that I bought. Hang on a second. This is a non-reversing mirror. This is a mirror that I bought that shows not a mirror image of you. It shows what you actually look like. So if I reach my right hand up and do this, the guy in the mirror does it with his right hand too. It's not a flipped image. It's not a mirror image as we think of it. It does this with a right angle that's very seamless. It's very tricky. It's interesting. Look it up. Go ahead and Google non-reversing mirror. But my point there is just to say that we know that what we see in the mirror is not what we actually look like to other people. We know that rationally, but we don't think about it very much. I spoke at this conference. I didn't really speak. I was more of a panel moderator about social media and cryptocurrency because I've got experience in both of those fields. And I submitted this picture for my headshot for the conference to put on their site. I have lots of pictures to choose from. I shoot video like this every day. In fact, I've done a whole photo shoot that I use for my thumbnails, right? Bunch of different dumb faces that I made, but some of them are more or less, a reasonable representation of what I look like this one. Now, in his book, Seth Stevens Davidowitz decided to challenge the idea that he was just a dorky-looking guy and there was nothing he could do about that. The fact is, there's abundant research to show that even slight variations in how you look are going to have a pretty big impact on how other people perceive you and how they react to you. Here's an example from the book. Of the two people shown below, who do you think looks more competent? Of these two gentlemen right here, which one, right or left? Okay. It turns out that the vast majority of people have a preference on this specific example. Most people believe the guy on the right is more competent. Here's another one. Let's look at this. Once again, I have a guess for you. Look at the two pairs of faces on the following page right here. For each, determine which of the two people next to each other strikes you as more competent. Okay, so which of these people, left versus right on the top and left versus right on the bottom, which is more competent? Okay, as it turns out, most people think that the guy on the right, on the top, is more competent than the guy on the left. And there isn't really a logic about this per se. We could come up with narratives, but competency has nothing to do with how square your jaw is or how furrowed your brow is. It has nothing to do with whether you're particularly male or female, masculine or feminine. but we make these unconscious assumptions. On the bottom example, left versus right, people assumed the guy on the left was more competent than the woman on the right. This has real impacts on people's lives and careers. There was research done about what gets people promoted in the military, and they went to West Point and looked at people there. As it turns out, the thing that predicts cadets' career success was how dominant their faces appeared. Across the board, on all variables, everything that you could look at, the thing that got you promoted at West Point and in the military, above anything else, was how dominant your face looked. The guy on the left has a more dominant looking face than the guy on the right. Crazy. And this was up the line, folks. It wasn't just like new cadets at school. So this extends to a lot of other qualities, any other quality really as well. And it's not just your face, who you are, it's how you present yourself. So here's an example of same guy on the left, same guy on the right. But depending on the picture that people were evaluating, they judged one as more trustworthy than the other, weirdly enough. It was how they expressed themselves, how they looked in particular in that photo. And you are not powerless to change these things about your own looks. And this is what Seth Stephens-Davidowitz realized. His book is really great. I do highly recommend it. I also recommend his first book, though it was about big tech and it may be starting to get dated now. It's about 5 years old. This one, however, is new this year. Don't trust your gut. It is about how data gives us counterintuitive lessons that we wouldn't figure out on our own if we were just going by gut feeling. Okay, back to the examples. Seth Stephens-Davidowitz took these ideas to heart. He downloaded Face App, and he created several different versions of his own face in Face App. How interesting. And this is the same picture that he uses on his website, right? There he is. He obviously has a preference. But he created different versions of this. Versions of him smiling, versions of him bald or with gray hair or with glasses or not. Different kinds of glasses. And then he took these and he put them into some testing and survey software to have people rate it on different qualities. Now, this was intriguing to me, and I wanted to give it a try, but I kind of forgot about this. I read this book months ago. He put it into Guided Track and Positly, two programs created by his friend Spencer Greenberg to allow anybody to quickly and cheaply perform survey research. As it turns out, somebody, I don't know who, somebody has taken this very idea with faces specifically and has created a site and a business around it. This is called PhotFeeler. I just stumbled into this earlier today, and I thought, heck, why not? I'll give it a try. So I paid $20 to have 100 people rate my face in different verticals. And this produced some interesting results. Not obvious to me. I used this image because, again, this is how I view myself. This is what I think I look like to other people. For this one, this was how I look in a social context, right? So imagine this as my Twitter profile or my Facebook picture. I think this is actually my Twitter profile pic right now. I was surprised how low I registered on this. I apparently look like I'm about average fun. I would have thought I look more fun than not. I've got a neon light in the back. I've got a bright, colorful shirt. I'm kind of smiling. Come on, this is a fun guy. Not so, says the audience. I look average authentic and average confident. So this was very surprising to me. I registered average across the board. In a social context, I would have thought I would score higher. In a business context, so imagine this on LinkedIn or on a resume. And you have to enter your profession. I put media producer, right? So you get this resume or you're looking for a media producer and you see a picture of this guy, right? What's your first impression? Well, for most people, it was average competence. Whew, I got to work on that. Likable, average, and above average influence. Interesting. I have no idea why this face, that picture, would look like I'm above average influence. Doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe there's not a rational explanation. If you have theories, do let me know down below in the comments. I would be very curious to know what you think. And then this was the real kicker. This was the one that really got me laughing. This is dating. Now, I am not on the market. I've been married for almost a decade, but I thought, why not? We're running the test. Who doesn't want to know how attractive they are to other people? And you can designate whether you want women to vote on this or men or both. And I actually picked both because how attractive you look to both genders is going to have an impact on your life, regardless of your particular sexuality or whether you are taken or not or available, whatever it might be. So I made it both, right? This was interesting to me. I'm average attractiveness. I guess I thought I was slightly above average. Apparently not. I am above average trustworthiness, according to this photo and the impression that it gives people. And here's the fun one. Apparently, I look really smart in this video, or this still photo. As we noted earlier, that can totally change depending on what photo you choose of yourself. This is not a static, unchangeable thing, right? Your expression, your hair, your facial hair, your glasses, all of those things have an impact. But in this particular photo that I have used quite a lot, I look rather smart. Survey says this is a smart picture of Austin. So, should I run more tests? What do you think? Do you generally agree with the results of this? Is this something that you would be curious to try? PhotFeeler is the name of the site. I do not currently, as I'm recording this, I don't have a link, but I'll add a link. I'll add a link below to the video so you can take a look and find out for yourself. You can also, instead of just paying $20, which is what I did to run this test, you can get votes with karma by voting for other people, which is really cool. I quite like that. There is a free option. So there you have it, folks. Your face, how you present yourself, how you smile, whether you have glasses, whether you have braces, whether you have facial hair, all of that has a cumulative effect that can be measured by science and by you with apps like PhotFeeler. If you want to check out Seth Steven Davidowit's book, Don't Trust Your Gut, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. The audiobook is also very good, and he's done a number of recent interviews on different podcasts that if you want to get a taste of it, check those out. All right, friends, that's what I got today. We'll be back with more interesting topics in the future. It's not always going to be Bitcoin on this channel. I'm having fun branching out into other things. Okay, let me know what you would like to talk about in the future. Go outside, touch some grass, get some sunshine, tell your loved ones that you love them. We'll talk again soon. Bye.